Welcome back to No Overtime. Today we will be talking about the Jets' struggles and future, NBA playoff predictions, and NFL Week 12 picks.
So we're going to start off by talking about the Jets, who have a record of 3-8 after they just lost to the Colts by 1 point. And then they followed up by firing their general manager, Joe Douglas. So, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, I think Joe Douglas was actually a good GM. Obviously, he drafted Zach Wilson, which was just one of the worst busts in NFL history. But we can't forget he drafted Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce Gardner. I mean, he's been really good at drafting. Besides Zach Wilson, I don't really think that firing him was going to fix this. I think it's Aaron Rodgers, and until we can finally realize that we might have to bench him, until then we're not going to be very good.
Yeah, I agree. And, the Jets, they don't really have any path forward from here. They are really, cornered. They have to stick. They have to really tough it out for the rest of the season. And then next season, it's not looking too great either.
Yeah, what I will say is I do think the defense has gotten a lot worse since last year. Sauce Gardner has been having a lot of tackling issues.
Definitely.
Giving up 28 points to Anthony Richardson at first start back is just ugly. We're letting teams drive down the field. But Rodgers hasn't been great either, We've just been playing terrible all around. And now we just got to look to next year, maybe draft a quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about our NBA playoff predictions. So we're going to start off with the Eastern Conference. In first place, we both have the Celtics. They're a great team. They just beat the Cavs. And then in second, we're going to have the Cavs, who are also a really good team. They're first in the East right now, but it's really a toss-up between them and the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
We then have the Knicks at third. They're obviously still a great team. Cat and them, they're still finding their rhythm as a team, and they're still obviously a playoff team. They're still obviously one of the best teams in the East.
For our 4 seed, we have the Magic. Paulo Banchero is going to be hurt for a bit, but even without him, Franz Wagner's been fitting into that role nicely as the main scorer for that team. I just like the Magic a lot. And I will say the Eastern Conference is very weak this year. Through the first 16 games of the season, I'm pretty sure only 4 teams have a record over 500 right now. And that's why for our 5th seed, we have the Hawks, who have been pretty good. They have a lot of young assets. We have the Pacers in 6th. The Bucks in 7th, who right now I think are like the 11th seed, but we think they're going to get better. The Heat, 8th seed, they usually find a way to make the playoffs. And for our play-in teams, we have the 76ers and the Hornets.
And then over in the Western Conference, at the 1 seed, we have the Thunder. I mean, they're just a great team. They remind me of a young 2015, 2016 Warriors team.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the pieces. I think this could honestly be their year. Then we have the Warriors. Not a team you'd expect up here, but they started this season hot. And obviously the addition of Buddy Hield has propelled them to the 2nd seed. We then have the Timberwolves at 3. Obviously, with Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and their core of young guys, they obviously always have a shot. And then at 4, we have the Lakers. Anthony Davis has been absolutely ridiculous this season, and their new draft picks look great. And honestly, with LeBron James, anything's possible.
Yeah, in our 5th seed, we have the Suns. They have probably the best big 3 in the league. Rockets, good young team. We think are going to be the 6th seed. Sengun, Jalen Green. They have a lot of good role players like Fred VanVleet. 7th seed, we have the Nuggets, a little lower than probably our preseason rankings. But they're just really not finding their rhythm yet. And the Mavericks in the 8th seed made the finals last year. And our playing teams are the Kings and Grizzlies.
Now we're going to be talking about our NFL picks for Week 12.
All right, so we're going to start I will say a lot of our predictions this week, we do have the same teams. It's not really a great week for NFL picks, but we'll start off with the Seahawks and Cardinals. I have the Seahawks in this game. Just beat the 49ers. And, the Cardinals, that's a close division. So a divisional game, I think the Seahawks will win high scoring.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals here. I think, they usually have on or off games. The Cardinals, sometimes they have a game where they'll put up 35-plus points, and then some games they just can't produce anything on offense. Then we both have the Bucks over the Giants. I mean, for obvious reasons, the Giants have just been a train wreck this season. They don't look like anything they don't even look like last season, and they were horrible last season. And obviously, the Bucks have a way better offense.
It'll be interesting to see how Tommy DeVito plays. We know he played pretty good last year for filling in for the injured Daniel Jones, but it's kind of surprising because we would expect Drew Lock to maybe play here. I thought he was the obvious quarterback two on this team, but I guess it's Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
We both have the Eagles over the Rams. This should be a very good game. This game's being played in Los Angeles, but both teams have been pretty hot lately. I think the Eagles have won like 6 games in a row. Rams looking good when they're fully healthy. I think this is going to be a really good game, but we both have the Eagles still.
Yeah, the Eagles obviously have a dominant offense. Obviously, Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league, or one of the best running backs in the league, and I think the Rams are going to have a hard time containing him.
Yeah, the Eagles' defense, especially the secondary, has looked a lot better this year.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Lions. So they have been really dominant this season, and we both have them beating the Colts. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do think the Lions will win this game, but if you're putting up 50 points a game, I think the other side's got to put up points too. Somehow that hasn't happened. They held Jacksonville to 6. But I think the Colts, I think Richardson's going to play well. I think this should be another high-scoring game. The Lions seem to score a ton of points every game. But, I think we just have to take the Lions. Now let's go to the Broncos playing the Raiders. We both have the Broncos. So what do you think about this game?
I think, the Raiders have just been also a train wreck this season. Gardner Minshew is not a good quarterback, and they've had, to start the season, they had a horrible season. I think Bo Nix is a way better quarterback than we expected. I think this Broncos team has caught us by surprise, and they have a way better defense than the Raiders.
Yeah. And we also picked the same upset game. We have the 49ers over the Packers. They played in the divisional round of the playoffs last year. I think this will be a really close game, but the Packers right now are favorites to win. I just think that the 49ers just haven't found like that rhythm yet. McCaffrey just came back. Debo has been playing well. Ayuk got hurt. But I feel like if there's a week that they're going to play well, it's going to be this one, and a game that, they're kind of being doubted in.
Yeah, and they need one of these games to go their way to kind of look like the team they've looked like for the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode of No Overtime. We look forward to seeing you next week.